South of Deep Hole, the river narrows and winds. Then it widens because of a dam. Lou swims easily over both of them. To the west of the river is the T. Mabry Carlton Jr. Memorial Reserve. A water plant there treats millions of gallons a day for people in Sarasota County. The water does not come from the river. It is pumped from the aquifer, an underground river. The reserve is 24,500 acres, but 200 acres are used for a public park with picnic tables, restrooms, and trails. The rest is wilderness area, and people must have a backcountry permit to hike, bike, or ride horses there. Lou has traveled the river, and people can too, or they can walk. The Myakka Carlton Trail starts at the north entrance of Myakka River State Park, crosses the Myakka Prairie, and ends in the Carlton Reserve. Lou sees a black bear in a tree where the trunk grows into 3 wide branches. One limb curves into the water. Dead palm fronds, sticks, and leaves are trapped there. So is a bass. The bear leans into the water and grabs it. Water drips from its fur as it eats the fish. Downriver, Lou explores a willow thicket. Caught on the twigs are fern fronds, pasture grasses, Spanish moss, and a piece of window screen. The current pulls it against the branches, forming a net. A red-eared sunfish struggles inside. Lou pushes her head into the net and grabs the fish. She can't move because the current pushes her into the net. Her sharp teeth and claws rip at the screen. It breaks from the branches on one side, freeing her to eat the fish. Hi, I'm Carol Mahler, author of Adventures in the Charlotte Harbor Watershed. Today, I'm at the television studios of the School District of Lee County, and with me is Rick Tully.
Hi, I'm with the Environmental Education Program of the School District of Lee County, but I would like today to read some words written by Curtis Porterfield of the Polk County Natural Resources Division. He wrote about groundwater. Groundwater is water contained underground in aquifers. When surface water sits on top of the land, some of it leaks into the soil and deep into the ground. This groundwater also moves upwards in the ground and refills surface waters. In Florida, groundwater and surface water are very much connected because the bedrock, the rock beneath the soil, has many holes in it. The holes let water travel from the surface to the ground and from the ground up to the surface. Groundwater is especially important to people who live in Florida because it is our main source of drinking water.
Thanks for reading that, Rick. And can you explain to me how water can move through rocks?
Well, water can't move through all rocks, but only certain kinds of rocks. Some rocks are so dense that they hold the water, and as you can see in the graph behind us, the confining layers hold the water, don't let it travel through. Other rocks, like limestone, have lots of pores, lots of small holes. Sometimes those holes are very large, like caves, but usually they're just tiny, small holes that allow the water to slowly seep through that rock and move from an area of higher elevation, like Central Florida, to an area of lower elevation, like our coastal areas. So the water that landed in central North Florida has flowed slowly, slowly underground through an aquifer to below us, and we can drill down into that and pull from that our drinking water.
Now, pollution that's on the surface of the ground can actually get into that underground water. Is that correct?
That's correct, and that can be a very large problem because once that pollution gets into the ground, it's very, very difficult, sometimes impossible, to completely remove it until those waters flow all the way through. And that may take years, may take centuries to move completely through an aquifer.
So, in some senses, we have to protect and keep safe something that we can't even see because it's hidden under the ground.
It's hidden under the ground, and if it always stayed under the ground, we might not worry about it. But we're constantly trying to bring that out of the ground for our use, because historically that has been some of the cleanest and purest water we can find.
Well, let's hope it stays that way.
Yes.
Thanks for talking with me today, Rick. I've really enjoyed it.
It's been a pleasure.
Soon Lou hears the rumble of traffic on the bridges for Interstate 75. To escape the noise, she swims under the water. Branches, leaves, and other debris pile up against the bridge piers. She twists and turns through the maze. She holds her breath a long time to swim under the bridges. When she rises to the surface, she breathes deeply and paddles to keep herself safe in the current. Where the river curves, she can see buildings. Under oak trees, two men stand on a deck filled with picnic tables. Mosquitoes and gnats fly in a cloud around their heads. Water covers the feet of their rubber boots as they lean against the railing. Lou hears them talking.
I don't know how much more the river will rise.
The first man says.
If it's no more than this, you'll be okay.
The second man says. The first man slaps a mosquito on his arm.
It'll be a mess to clean up.
Above Lou, nighthawks dip and soar. The second man fans the bugs away from his face.
I'll bet it's not the first time Snook Haven has seen a flood.
You're right about that. It was here for more than a half a century before Sarasota County bought it. People came here to fish and stay in the cabins. Others rented canoes or boats or took the boat tour to see the river.
The second man points to the river.
What's that?
The first man says.
Fire ants, stay away. When their nests are flooded, they gather into a ball and float on a branch or something. They'll latch onto anything they bump up against, even people.
Lou watches a nighthawk swoop to eat a mosquito. The second man watches the ants float downstream.
I heard 2 movies were filmed here.
That's right. The most famous one was a Tarzan movie that featured killer turtles. Some of the monkeys that escaped still live around here. Most people can see them across the river.
The second man points at Lou.
Hey, there's one in the river.
The first man chuckles. He says,
That's not a monkey, that's a river otter.
Downstream in Jelks Preserve, Lou rests on a picnic table near the river. Water flows beneath. In an oak tree above, 2 squirrels chase along a branch. In another tree, a mockingbird sings. First it trills like a meadowlark, then it chirps like a wren. She hears some splashing and footsteps. Then she watches 2 women wearing raincoats and boots walk along the path, which is as wide as a road. A pileated woodpecker swoops in front of them as they stop at the water's edge.
I can't believe how high the river is.
The first woman says.
Remember when we came here a few weeks ago? We saw a gopher tortoise on the trail and a rabbit was eating grass over there.
The second woman points to the table where Lou is. The woman doesn't see Lou because the otter's brown fur blends with the wet wood.
It was a lovely evening, as I recall. The river didn't seem to move. It reflected everything, like a mirror.
At least until those boats came speeding by.
The second woman says.
That's right, and the waves washed in. I could see some fresh water mussels, but the clam shell surprised me.
2 doves land on the picnic table. They peck at the leaves, twigs, and acorn shells. Lou watches. The first woman says.
They call this part of the river coastal lower Myakka because the harbor salt water mixes with the river's fresh water.
The second woman says.
But the river flows into the harbor in Charlotte County. It seems a long way from where we are in Sarasota County.
And lucky for us, this 600-acre preserve is a Sarasota County park. Thanks to Dr. Mary Jelks. To buy the land, she gave money and asked others to donate. She even convinced the county to help.
Lou lunges towards the doves. They flutter away with soft noises, and she slides into the river.
classroom materials, please visit our website at www.chnep.org.